All right, we had another emotional week with the backdrop of Liquid Web folding in some well-known brands into their larger Liquid Web brand. This is the playbook of private equity or really any big business acquiring another brand that is much smaller in size and scale than their core offering. I also want to note that I am in discussions with Liquid Web for a potential sponsorship for the WP Minute, my publication, where we talk and cover WordPress stuff every week. And I don't know if it's going to go through yet. I don't know if we're going to sign, but I just wanted to get that up front. I know that this is a very emotional thing, and I don't want to talk about the year-long or year-long plus of layoffs. I've been laid off twice in my professional career. It sucks. It sucks for everyone. But as I sit back and take in everyone's reaction across the WordPress space, including the founders of those products, I think a larger question to also hold in your mind, instead of just beating up on the brand that's folding in products that they acquired over 5 years ago, there's a few things, I would just urge you to hold in your head. Number one, there are still humans on the other side of the fence who need to make a living and want to do good by those products that still, in fact, do exist. I mean, I've seen a lot of people saying things like rest in peace products, or these products are done. I've seen some other businesses use it as a springboard to get attraction to their own product as an alternative. And as far as I am concerned, looking at the website, those products are still there. And that's an anchor for my thought process in today's discussion. And the core of my discussion today is, should hosting companies have WordPress products? Better yet, challenge yourself to think, how does a WordPress hosting company whose core product, core offering, an entire business built around the hosting product, how do they survive selling WordPress plugins at, I don't know what the levels of the pricings are, $99 a year, $199, $599, support those products, sell those products, cultivate the culture around those products, which is what is largely in the crosshairs today. Should web hosting companies have products like that? Now, I know the big ones do. Obviously, Liquid Web, these products here, they acquired them. They're still running them. We'll get to that, back to that in a moment. If GoDaddy has a suite of products, WP Engine famously has a suite of products that they acquired. But I don't think that is that's the North Star for them in those companies. These are two different businesses. And when I see GoDaddy, WP Engine, Liquid Web, Newfold Digital with Yoast, there's another one that I'm missing, that have large plugins like this. Hey, it's a good thing that they're still maintaining and offering these things up. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, how long do they have? What's the runway there? Put yourself in your own small business shoes. If you acquired something and it wasn't working out, how long do you keep it going? This is the dilemma for somebody running one product or service that is not working out, right? At some point you go, whatever it is that I'm doing, it ain't working. I got to stop and pivot. How many times have we seen a solo founder, freelancer, somebody trying to make a product, especially in this day and age with vibe coding and AI assistance? How many times have we seen that story? Yes, this is, 10, 100x the size of that, because big business, lots of employees that we know who lost their jobs over the years. But as far as I can tell, the product is still there. The products are still there. That is at least one silver lining in this, because it is employing people to continue to work on those products, number one. And number two, they didn't give up on the most important piece that everyone's missing. That's the end user of WordPress. Somebody out there running a product from Liquid Web, whether it's LearnDash, Cadence, GiveWP, Events Calendar Pro. Someone out there is using that for their business. They don't know about you and me. They don't know about Matt Mullenweg. They don't know about WordPress drama. They don't know about the volunteers that go into this space. They don't know anything about open source. But because of all that is happening behind the scenes, they've got a solution on their website, right? They're getting donations. They're booking events. They got a theme. They're selling courses. So I would say have some solace to the fact that Liquid Web didn't just end the product lineup. You might not like how they handled the rollout of it. You might not like the new control panel or dashboard that's in the plugins. It's perfect. It's perfect criticism. And newsflash, we're all in products, so that criticism might be heard, and you might see a change. Who knows? But the point is they didn't give up on the products yet. Now, I'm recording this Friday afternoon, May 15th. I think this is the pivotal point that they say, hey, if it doesn't work now, we got to get rid of this thing. And remember, GiveWP was acquired 5 years-ish ago. That's a long time for a big business to hang on to something that is like a standalone brand and try to make it work. Think about how you would manage that. There's a few other things I want to bring up here. And I'm largely talking about this stuff because it's every right for people to criticize the layoffs. That's not what this discussion is about. You will not find the sympathy card for that here, though I do have sympathy. I'm not stressing that in this discussion. On paper, from running from a business, this is the machine, man. This is. I don't even want to say it's the machine. It's just business. Had these products been acquired all roughly around the same time, and within 6-ish months, they folded those products in and they cut everybody that worked on that, the private equity that I can certainly look at and say, this sucks. And I could certainly say, terrible move. We should not support that. We're talking 5+ years. That's a long time for a business to run this stuff on paper. Here's the other thing I want you to be able to hold in your head, and you let me know what you think. Given the climate of WordPress, given the challenges that we have as a community these days, we have this pending lawsuit. We don't really know what's going to happen on the other side. In fact, I'd venture to guess that you're going to see more consolidation over the years, or upcoming year in WordPress. So hold on to your hats. The economy shifting in WordPress, right? I mean, how many? Remember, I've been interviewing people for over 15 years talking about their business. Nobody talks about their business anymore. Nobody wants to share how they're getting customers, what their secret marketing tactic is, how they're launching new features. One, because so few of them are doing it these days. Two, so few of them are being as profitable as they used to. And three, there's a lot more competition. So people don't want to share that conversation anymore. I have a front row seat to it. So having said that, if these brands were still independent today in the year 2026 versus being acquired around 2020, 2021, 2022, whenever those acquisitions were made, would they still be in business today? Would these brands as a standalone brand be in business today? If not acquired back then, could these companies have stood the test of time, which is the last 5 years and the onslaught of AI and competition in the space? Would they still have customers? Would they still have a team? Would they be making the same cuts today that we saw Liquid Web do over a year or so? It's just something I want you to think about and be cognizant when we're analyzing the situation. The next thing I would like you to think about is the founders of these products, whom I'm friends with, most of them. I know Ben. I interviewed him on the podcast. I wouldn't call myself like super friendly with him, but certainly Devin co-hosted this very podcast with me years and years and years ago. Cromwell and I randomly do a podcast together, both members of the WP Minute Slack. And Justin Ferriman of LearnDash, one of the very first folks that I interviewed here at the Matt Report, one of my best community videos for when it was called Pressnomics was Justin and I meeting and having a conversation. Again, he's in the WP Minute. And I don't mean this in a bad way. But when you're on the sidelines, and just admit this, right? Everyone who knows about, I don't care, you can say private equity, you can say publicly traded company, big company, whenever a smaller company is acquired, I don't care if it's one person or 100 people going into a 10,000 person enterprise. We all know what's going to happen. Like, why are we fooling ourselves with what is going to happen? Now, if you've never followed an acquisition before, and this is these products are the first time that you've ever paid attention to an acquisition, okay, I'll give you grace. But if you've been in the WordPress space, especially if you've been following the content that I put out, interviewing entrepreneurs for the last 15 plus years in WordPress, I keep saying 15, it might be 18. We know what's going to happen. The founder of the product is making the decision to sell the product to a bigger company. The outcome are always the same. Founder leaves after X amount of years or moves up in the ranks into something else. J.R. Farr is an example of that, with selling Lemon Squeezy to Stripe. Not his first rodeo, by the way. And that could be part of a deal that he has. I mean, friendly with him too. Had him on the show multiple times. Seems like he's having a great time at Stripe leading another product, and that's awesome. But we know that this is going to happen. So when you know business is business and the business machine continues to turn, I don't want to say who do we put the blame on, but the founders made the decisions to exit out of these products. And sure, it probably felt great at the time to hear that, you wanted to, get an exit, be able to find more capital to run the business, and maybe if I join this company, there's more investment and there's more accelerant to move this thing, and all of that stuff sounds great. But let's just call it what it is. Everyone knows what's going to happen when you sell the business with a team behind it to a bigger business, larger by orders of magnitude than a plugin. You understand what's going to happen. We all do. So let it be known moving forward that there's no more surprises when a WordPress plugin gets acquired by another plugin. And newsflash, everyone's favorite enemy in WordPress, Automotive, people love to talk about what happen, air quotes, what happens to these products and plugins when they join Automotive, or Automotive becomes a strategic partner or acquired or whatever. I mean, yes, you don't like the marketing tactics strategies that they have. You don't like the distribution strategies you have. You don't like some of the borderline pricing, urgency pricing stuff that they do. Okay, those things can be argued on the margin, but I don't see these products going away. These products are still running. I mean, year after year, I hear here's another one acquired by Automotive. What's going to happen? And by the way, I compete with Automotive at my day job, but also friends with Syed and a lot of folks that work at Automotive. What do you want me to do? I'm just looking at it from what I see. I don't have any inside information. And until something changes, well, then I'll come back on the airwaves and talk about it. The pivotal moment was the founder decided to sell the business to, in this case, Liquid Web. Because why? It's the best grammar I have there. Because why? Because they were tired. Have you run a business? Because they were running out of money, and the only exit to keep people's jobs, at least for 4.5, 5 years, was to exit, or they just wanted to make money and take money off the table. So I've seen my friends who ran these businesses, use this as a dunk contest. But guys, you sold. I know, no one's happy, but we know what's going to happen when this goes down. Let's just be adults. I'm not saying it's good, but as founders, you made out. I saw Yoast chime in on one of the threads, I can relate. I mean, you made a ton of money. You made a ton of money. Yeah, I know you didn't like it, but you knew what was happening. I'm going to wrap up with this story because this rant has gone probably far too long, and my friends are probably deleting their Slack accounts right now. I hope they still talk to me. I'll still talk to them. I work for Pagely. Never in a day did I think that Josh would sell to GoDaddy. I mean, GoDaddy was the mortal enemy. By the way, fantastic sponsor of the WP Minute. Thank you, GoDaddy. GoDaddy was the mortal enemy. So was private equity. And I'm not saying anything obvious or something that Josh doesn't want people to know publicly, because if you follow his Instagram, you know. He made a ton of money selling Pagely to GoDaddy. So we all know what's up. People need to exit this is business. And I've put out, one of the episodes I've put out recently, 2 episodes I put out recently, is one about finality in WordPress. I think we all just hang on too long. There's, a thread of camaraderie and family feeling here for both, the WordPress community and your product and your company. You want finality. I don't want my body of work to define who I am. I love the achievements. I love the accomplishments. I love the hate that I get. I love the shit talk that I get to do and the criticisms. But I think I come from at least moral footing is how I put it. But there needs to be some finality because it helps for moments like this, and it's just business. And number 2, it's another title. I think it's we all need to grow up in WordPress or something like that. We need to get more serious. Yeah, this is business. And I think what we're going to see, especially because of AI, especially because I think Automatic might have a chance to, there's going to be some kind of restructuring and it's going to impact the space, maybe, unless things get settled out of court. And then just the natural evolution of what we're seeing with AI and what we're seeing with so much competition, you're going to see your favorite plugin. If these were your favorite plugins, again, I can't stress this enough. You can still go buy those plugins from Liquid Web. Your favorite plugin might go away. Your favorite plugin might get rolled into something else in the year or 2 to come. So we all need to just get ready to know that it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I could lose my job at Gravity Forms. Gravity Forms could get acquired. I don't know. I'm not in control. Anyway, let me know what you think. It's another episode of the Matt Report. If you want to follow all the cool stuff that we do and talk about WordPress, support WordPress, and hope that WordPress thrives, take some free courses and join a free Slack group of individuals who care about WordPress and want to promote WordPress and share ideas about WordPress with others. That's the North Star. That's the mission I'm on, is to educate, inform, and entertain an audience of professional WordPress developers, freelancers, agency owners, and product people. Come join us, thewpminute.com. Click on one of our courses, register for free. If you want to register for free, take one of our courses. Learn how to select better hosting, how to do a better WordPress project. If you want to learn how to contribute to WordPress, you can take a free course taught by Topher. We have courses from our sponsors there, like Pressable. If you want to learn how to spend your money advertising in WordPress space for media outlets like myself, I got a free course about that too. I'm giving you all the knowledge I got. thewpminute.com/courses. Register for free. You get access to our free Slack channel. But if you want to support the work that we do, because man, it's business and we're trying to survive, 2.5 employees at the WP Minute. So go ahead and pledge $79 a year. You can sign up for that as well over at thewpminute.com.